Hello, everyone. I'm Tamron Hall, your host for tonight's celebration of the Fashion Scholarship Fund and its class of 2021 scholars. We're doing things a bit differently, so thank you for joining us virtually as we honor our 120 scholars, including, for the first time, 20 Virgil Abloh Postmodern Scholarship Fund scholars. It all starts with talent. Then comes the journey. No one wakes up one day as a creative director of a fashion brand. Everyone needs a helping hand. The Fashion Scholarship Fund does crucial work for the fashion industry, seeking out underrepresented, diverse undergraduate geniuses, often working in obscurity from the corner of a cramped dorm room or all too often a bedroom in a parent's house. Most of these talented students made their commitment before receiving any support. And we are celebrating them because of that unstoppable drive. It defines them. They are a ferocious appetite of learning, creating, innovating, and forging through despite life's obstacles and interruptions, despite the challenges that sometimes come with choosing a creative path. Now, finding exposure is hard, and so is meeting the right people for young professionals to have assistance while navigating their early careers. And it can make a huge difference. The FSF provides support in all sectors of the design world: merchandising, marketing, analytics, and supply chain, among others. Now, personally, I've long been an admirer of the incredible work the Fashion Scholarship Fund does, and I've even featured a few folks on the show, the Tamron Hall Show. Marissa Wilson, an FSF alumnus, was on my show in the up-and-coming design series. We spotlighted her, and Marissa was a finalist this year for the FSF's Accelerator Grant. And I will be wearing one of Marissa's gorgeous creations later tonight. I'm currently wearing Andrea Spiridonakis. Love this ensemble, and I have a gorgeous pair of hoops that I hope to keep from FSF alum Jamil Muhammad. He's a skyrocketing accessory designer, recently named, in fact, Forbes 30 Under 30 list. And never has there been a more important time or greater need to support an incoming class of FSF scholars. 2020 has crushed opportunities across every industry. We've all been impacted in some way, and it's been felt most strongly by the ambitious, talented youth who are out there hustling to make a name for themselves. The Fashion Scholarship Fund has been listening to those in need and pivoting their programs to meet these unusual times. Tonight's celebration is the culmination of an abundance of programming that has been rolled out in response to the pandemic throughout this past year. Now, it is crucial that during this year of displacement, the commitment to spotlighting these young, talented students remains strong. This talented class of scholars is in need of a North Star. And by providing the necessary support, the Fashion Scholarship Fund will continue to be just that as these students and recent graduates venture into a changed industry. So again, thank you to all of you joining our celebration. We have an exciting program ahead as we take a look at the work FSF has done in 2020, hear from notable supporters and allies, introduce you to the new class, and announce the winner of the Final Four. But first, we have the chance to financially support the Fashion Scholarship Fund with a special auction segment led by powerhouse auctioneer Lydia Finette of Christie's and her partner, Ryan Seacrest. Enjoy the evening, and I do hope next year we will be back in the same room together.
Thank you, Tamron, and thank you to the Fashion Scholarship Fund for putting this together. I'm so flattered to be a part of the event this evening and to honor 4 exceptional students from this program, celebrate all the milestones from the past year, and look forward to the exciting possibilities that are ahead. I'm also here to show my support for the FSF, whose mission is to create fair opportunities for their students and provide the education they need to accomplish all of their dreams. I was fortunate enough to receive the Style Icon of the Year award in 2019, and it made me realize how far I'd come from wearing husky jeans, rugby shirts, and my headgear all those years growing up, my Bugle Boy pants, my parachute pants. I also had the pleasure of meeting the talented students, and I remember being immediately struck by everyone's passion and enthusiasm to shape the future of the industry. They will be the ones to reinvent fashion and retail as we know it today, and I'm proud to be one of the supporters here to help them along the way. Now, I'd like to pass it along to Lydia to tell us about these special ways you can support the Fashion Scholarship Fund tonight. Lydia?
Thank you, Ryan. And I know we all look forward to seeing a picture of you in those Bugle Boy pants. I also want to say, as Ryan did, thank you to everyone out there who has given so generously to FSF. It means an incredible amount to each and every student when a donation is given, because a donation equals money helping a student not only get through the actual diligent work needed by every student, but it also means mentorship and placement opportunities. In addition to that, it just reduces their stress all around because they can focus on their work and not on their money. So there are a couple of ways to donate, and that's why I'm here. And I'd like for you to think through the way that you would like to give this evening. All are different, but all are very simple. The first one is click the donate button that is directly below me right here. The next one is to text FSF 2021 to the number 44321 and then follow the prompts. And finally, you can bid on the last of the FSF's auction items that are currently on eBay right now. And we've had an incredible auction so far. There's been an overwhelming success with contributions from everyone from Brandon Maxwell to Virgil Abloh, Dwayne Wade, and more. But we are keeping one special lot open until midnight on January 15th. And this is one you will not want to miss. Because while all of your friends are attending boring Zoom parties for work, you will be having a fabulous cocktail party with Sarah Jessica Parker. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anyone better to have at your cocktail party on Zoom than Sarah Jessica Parker? Well, perhaps a couple of amazing additions as well, because you're going to have the editor-in-chief of Marie Claire, and you're going to have InVivo's co-founder and wine expert, Tim Lightbourne, with you as well. So you can talk about art, you can talk about fashion. What you're going to need is wine. And luckily, Sarah Jessica Parker will be shipping an entire case to your house. You will have her fabulous Sauvignon Blanc that you will receive from, it's coming from New Zealand, but obviously it's going to be at your house, so you can drink it wherever you want, in whatever room you'd like. And in addition to that, you'll be getting 2019 Rosé from the south of France. So get on eBay. You can bid whatever you want. There's a $10,000 buy it now feature, so if you want to do that really quickly, you can make that happen. All you have to do is click on the button below, and it'll take you to FSF's eBay auction page where you can set your price.
Thank you, Lydia and Ryan. You make it easy for us to support so many young folks thriving toward success. Up next, we have two gentlemen dedicated and tireless advocates, the driving force behind the Fashion Scholarship Fund. First, walking us through the work the fund has done this past year is Executive Director Peter Arnold. Then we will hear from Fashion Scholarship Fund President and Chief Stores Officer at Macy's, Mark Mastronati, as he introduces our award finalists. Peter, the stage is yours.
Good evening, and thank you to the wonderful Tamron Hall for your kind introduction and for all you do to spotlight young talent. I'm Peter Arnold, and I'm the Executive Director of the Fashion Scholarship Fund. I am so pleased that so many of you have joined us tonight for a virtual celebration of this year's class of 2021 scholars. Last year, which seems like a very long time ago, 1,400 of us celebrated together in the grand ballroom of the Hilton Hotel, and I spoke about the resilience of the FSF and our unwavering commitment for 84 years to identifying and nurturing talent, the lifeblood of our industry. What a year we've had since then. Talk about a test of resilience. In early March, many of our educators, students, and alumni started reaching out to us as classes were canceled indefinitely. Students were sent home. Much anticipated graduation celebrations became quieter virtual events. Internships and new jobs evaporated in thin air, and alumni were furloughed, or worse, laid off. Hearing this groundswell of collective concern and anxiety, we found a way virtually to bring your stories to life through, now more than ever, a video awareness campaign highlighting many of you, like Javier, who lost his paid internship and worried about where his next meal would come from, and Tashaya, last year's winner and three-time FSF scholar who lost her hard-earned job offer, her dreams of stability replaced with sleepless nights. On April 1st, we opened up our application portal to more than 1,500 applicants, a record for the FSF, allowing them to participate in masterclasses with Vanessa Friedman, Tommy Hilfiger, and Lindsay Peoples-Wagner, and professional development sessions on sustainability, 3D design, and retail math, to name a few, and workforce preparedness webinars on crafting your profile with LinkedIn and virtual interviewing with a media training team. This year, many of our students under work experience put 2020 FSF Summer Scholar Series on their resumes. That's gratifying. We expanded our undergraduate mentoring program and began mentoring graduates with a focus on the underrepresented. Thanks to the support of the VF Foundation and the Hearst Foundation, we presented 2 virtual talent acquisition events, thanks to the support of Ross Stores. We added new schools, including 6 new HBCUs, to our network of 66, and we continued important equity work, spearheaded by our board and our alumni of color. This summer, the Black Lives Matter movement galvanized our industry. The challenge has always existed: how to bring talent of color, talent that is financially needy, talent whose parents didn't attend college, into the industry, genuinely and credibly. This year, a record 33% of our applicant pool and our class of winners is talent of color. That speaks to the beginnings of remedying a systemic problem. And now, thanks to supporters like board member Virgil Abloh, who shares our mission, we have even greater visibility, and we have a vitality of purpose that's garnering the attention and support of so many in the industry. Thanks to all of our supporters this year, especially the AAFA Education Foundation, Levi Strauss & Company, and PVH. For me, the power of this year can be summed up in a single moment. In November, Virgil and several Black FSF alumni hosted a virtual recruiting event with students from our 8 HBCUs. At the conclusion of the session, more than 400 student attendees, that's 7 pages of faces across our computer screens, burst into applause and thanked Virgil and the FSF, many holding up examples of their work and asking us for help sharing it. This is the enthusiasm, the need, the passion, the hunger that make the Fashion Scholarship Fund and its work so vital. Now, I'd like to introduce a video tribute celebrating our remarkable past year, followed by news of an exciting new partnership in 2021. I am proud and blessed to be part of such a progressive organization, helping to do its good work.
The virtual world is growing and growing.
It brings a lot of comfort now.
Now
more than ever.
The biggest hurdle I faced when attempting to break into the fashion industry, was really just knowledge and having access. Access is so important.
This is the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to find out what is it that you can bring to the table. And forget the old idea about we want to be invited to the table. Nobody cares. I can buy my own table. So I don't care about being invited.
Our goal when you go in for that virtual interview is to make you as memorable as possible.
Which basically means we're about to get busy. And it's like a pilot program to see if us putting like seed resources fosters a fashion community in a place that's like wouldn't otherwise have it.
Thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
This is
Virgil.
so awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bree Olson, Chief Brand Officer at PacSun, and I'm here today with Richard Cox, Vice President of Men's Merchandising. Congratulations to the Fashion Scholarship Fund.
We at PacSun have been so inspired by the good work of the FSF and how they have adapted and continued their mission when the fashion community has needed them most.
We are a brand that is built on youth culture. One of the most important commitments that we have made as a brand is to be more inclusive across race and gender.
We're excited to announce a new partnership. It's a design collaboration between PacSun and the FSF, in which FSF alumni have the opportunity to design a gender-free collection under the PacSun brand. We will provide the designers with ongoing mentorship and assistance from our PacSun design team, and the collection will be sold at PacSun.
We are so excited for this partnership, and we can't wait to get started.
Hello, my name is Mark Bastinardi, and I'm the Chief Stores Officer of Macy's and President of the Fashion Scholarship Fund. I've been involved with this annual gala for almost 15 years, and it always is a thrill to get to this moment, even though it looks a little different this year. So today I have the pleasure of introducing all of you to our final 4 Fashion Scholarship Fund scholars. We'll get to virtually meet them in their spaces and hear about all of the amazing work that they're doing. Each and every one of these candidates is here because of the gifts they have to share with our industry. They are exceptionally driven and have a vision for the future that will continue to propel our industry forward. Our finalists this year consist of 2 seniors, 2 juniors with a broad range of interests. Their majors include strategy and entrepreneurship, marketing and design, business of beauty and fragrance, and fashion design. And this year, all 4 finalists are first-time FSF scholarship recipients. 2 have made the Dean's List for multiple semesters, and 2 of our finalists have founded their own company and started their own content studios. Before I introduce the first of our final 4, I want to share a little bit about the award they're competing for. This year, we have 120 FSF scholarships. For this year's award, we asked a total of 300 judges to review the entries and put forward their top candidates. And I can tell you the selection process was very difficult, as it is every year. There's a high standard of competition in this year's class, as always. But these final 4 went above and beyond in showcasing their exemplary work. Tonight, we have the pleasure of meeting all 4 of our finalists in their spaces and to hear about the amazing work they're doing in their words. These are 4 students with eyes towards our future, with exceptional drive and vision, and who better to explain their work to you than each of them. So without further ado, the first of our final 4.
My case study was on age inclusion. It was largely inspired by my mom during the pandemic. She runs a hospital. She was so tired a lot of the time, and she was kind of missing the hair salon every 2 weeks, nail salon, upkeep that, makes yourself feel good. And so I wanted to create a feel-good campaign for women her age who are doing so much. They are our role models. The brand I chose was Aveda, and I chose to call it Silver Lining, silver spirit, silver shine, silver strength, to fight different issues that mature hair might have. I chose to partner with Joanna Gaines. She's right in the demographic. It's someone that my mom, my grandma really loved to watch on HGTV all the time. She could do a special sponsored by Aveda. They could make a Silver Lining Summit, similar to how Michelle Obama or Brene Brown kind of go on tour. It would mean the world to me if I could turn around and tell her, I won with this case study. She came to America at 17. She's from Trinidad. She worked 3 jobs, slept on the train in New York. After I was born, she went to night school. So she would watch me during the day. It would be a full circle moment. I can take a burden off of her to say for senior year, you don't have to worry about anything. What a blessing that would be.
Our next speaker is a man who has broken ground throughout his entire career. Prepare yourselves for a truly impressive resume. He is the first African-American to be artistic director at a French luxury fashion house. He is the artistic director of Louis Vuitton's menswear collection and the founder and CEO of Off-White. He recently established his Postmodern Scholarship Fund in partnership with the FSF and joined the FSF's Board of Governors this year. He's here to tell us about his fund and its dedication to supporting Black students. Virgil Abloh.
Thanks so much, Tamron Hall, for the introduction. Also, thank you to the FSF team, all the members, as well as those who were able to make my Postmodern Scholarship Fund possible this year. And with that, congratulations to all this year's participants and winners. A little bit about my Postmodern Scholarship Fund involves a lack that I saw within the industry that I partake in. 2020 shows us that design has a lot of room to grow. Fashion has a lot of room to grow. Culture has a lot of room to grow. The space that I occupy needs to be open just the same way doors were open for me in my career. But I wanted to do that on a large scale. And partnering with the FSF team allowed me to do so. I believe we're sustainably making an impact to make systems of design, fashion, art, and culture more diverse. My Postmodern Scholarship Fund is dedicated towards students who identify themselves as Black and allows them to gain mentorship, support, resources via my vehicles that help me be who I am today. It's encouraging the work that's happening with Facing Fashion Digital campaign, with the likes of John Dempsey and Brandon Maxwell and other industry leaders. We're banding together to make mentorship, to make this system of fashion education helpful to the younger generations to come. So with that, I introduce the Facing Fashion compilation video. Thank you.
The biggest hurdle I faced when attempting to break into the fashion industry, was really just knowledge.
If I had known about the FSF when I had first started, wow.
I don't know where I'd be without it.
We can all identify with the injustices or the lack of opportunity that exists for Black people, people of color.
Access is so important.
My biggest hurdle for getting into the beauty industry was actually figuring out how to get in.
Getting your foot in the door that first time and getting that first internship, that first network is extremely difficult.
When you're coming from a place like I did where you don't know anyone and you don't have any access to the fashion industry, that hurdle to get from there to here is quite big. Had I had a hub or a group of people,
someone who would care about me, who would support me, that would have been extraordinary.
Fashion Scholarship Fund did help me break into the industry. And to this day, it's really had a huge impact on my career.
My case study was all about my own personal struggle with body image. This is the dress that I designed for the case study. So I created a collection that was body unconscious. It allows wearers to kind of just dissociate from their body and live life to the fullest. I wanted to create a collection that is also sustainably sourced and communally designed, just to bring everyone together. It's inspired by Victorian children's wear, and it's very fun and light and able to change with changing bodies. These are like little ties, clothes that have pleats that are strategically placed on the clothing to allow for changing bodies. You can take off the sleeves and the neck and even the side panels of the dress, and they become new pieces of clothing. I hand printed because the Parsons facilities were closed, using just a Sharpie because I didn't have access to a print facility. I spent my entire life trying to prove to my parents and my brother even, because they're all in STEM fields, that I really could be something, because they always kind of made fun of me for doing fashion design, oh, you're not making any money, you're doing internships and you're not getting paid. The scholarship really solidified that I can do it, I can make it in the industry. The scholarship proved it all.
How about these finalists tonight? All of these dreams on display, inspiring us. So let's help them go the extra mile. Let's get Lydia back to show you the many different ways that you can donate to the Fashion Scholarship Fund.
Thank you so much, Tamron. And I'm here one more time to remind you of the incredible work we have seen tonight. More of this is possible with your donations. So again, 3 ways to do it. The first, donate to the button right here. Very easy, just click on the button. The second one is text FSF 2021 to 44321. Or if you're feeling really lucky and you're a lot of fun, lot number 3 this evening is going to be the ultimate evening with Sarah Jessica Parker, Tim Lighthouse, and the fabulous editor-in-chief of Marie Claire. So let's grow that network and that number from 120 FSF students a year to 200 right now, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
I love sports, so like when the player hits the game-winning shot and he jumps in the air, that's kind of the feeling I had. I was like, let's go. I ran outside and just started like running around. I had so much energy. I was like pounding my chest. I was super excited. And it's kind of this feeling of like, of confidence and validation almost to like, okay, I know I could work this hard. It's like super empowering. My case study focused on supply chain. And for me, the company I chose to work on was Champion Brands, and how I was going to transition them from a wholesale model to a more of a direct-to-consumer model. My interest in fashion stemmed from sports, mostly. I was a big fan of sports growing up, whether it's LeBron James, in basketball to in football, you have, Odell Beckham. I worked up to the last minute. The way I thought about it was just gathering as much information as I can to educate myself. When I finished that all up and had all these resources, talking about the last day of the assignment, so there wasn't much more time I had spent on completing it. It was exciting. I put in all this work just to be excited about putting something out there that I was proud of, to see that people appreciated the hard work and that my ideas were viable was something extremely gratifying. It gave me a lot of confidence, and to know that this is just the beginning, and I know I have a lot to offer and that people will appreciate what I have to offer.
When you're really blessed to be able to have somebody in your life who's like, look, this isn't the right thing, but just like stick with me on this. Because we do, live in such an instant gratification culture. And I immediately was like, oh my God, I didn't get this job. Like, then I need to apply for another thing. And she was like, no, just hold on. Just like wait with me for a minute. Let's work together. Let's build something. Because I think that you have something and I think you just need a little bit more time.
Retail, fashion, everything's being upended, and the exciting part of that and all the uncertainty is that there are less rules, there's less structure.
I always say to this kind of question that you could never lose, like, it's all about looking inside, and great leadership, and I know you guys all probably want to be great leaders, as we all do, but great leadership comes with self-development.
If you're going to build your brand from sustainability, everything you do will be scrutinized, right? They will look at you and say, you said you dyed it with your own hands. Well, was that dyes? Were those dangerous dyes? Are they chemicals? Did that harm anyone? You took a flight because you had to go, who knows, for work. Well, was it carbon, neutral? All those things will be scrutinized. Are you prepared for that? And do you have a plan for that?
Don't give up, because there are obstacles and roadblocks along the way every day, and you have to look at those as challenges. But don't give up, and take every single stepping stone and opportunity that comes your way, and if it doesn't come your way, go find it.
I was very shy growing up. I used to wear this pink fuzzy sweater all the time with this pink skirt. I would play with my mom's makeup. Fashion allowed me to express myself in a way that I couldn't really verbally. My case study was about gender wage inequality and pocket inequality combined for a campaign called Deeper Pockets for Levi's. In America, for every dollar a man makes, a woman makes 85 cents. I think about whether or not I'm going to be able to have the same opportunities as men do, even with the same education and the same experience. I thought about pocket inequality as another inequality that women face. Their pockets are a lot smaller than men's. They can't fit their phones, wallets, or keys in their pockets. For men, they can fit probably all three in their pockets. Although pocket inequality and wage inequality don't carry the same weight, I thought combining those two together would be able to generate more conversation about women inequality as a whole. I really wasn't expecting to win anything or to, much less to be a top 4 finalist. So it would honestly mean so much if I did win, because it would give me that confidence to know that what I'm passionate about is something that I really should be doing.
Such an impressive group of finalists. I'm so excited to hear all of their stories and see them. Now, these are students who are not only dedicated to design and fashion as an art form, but are deeply invested in the economic and ethical, as you heard there, responsibilities of the industry. As always, Fashion Scholarship Fund recipients continue to impress. And speaking of which, I am so thrilled to be wearing a gorgeous creation. I wish I could stand and see my whole dress. I may have to post it on social media. This is a creation from FSF alumnus Marissa Wilson. Thank you, Marissa, for dressing me tonight. It is such an honor. Well, tonight's FSF Board of Directors Chairman's Award is not the only scholarship money being provided tonight. Now, that $17,500 prize will go to our winner, but 3 of our partners, the AAFA Education Foundation, Levi Strauss Company, and PBH, have provided funds to underwrite scholarships for our runners-up as well, to the tune of, by the way, $12,500 each. It's just one more reason to be thankful to you, our supporters, for allowing us to do our work and help these students succeed to the best of their abilities. So everyone, we are at the moment to announce the winner of the FSF Board of Directors Chairman's Award. Now, we are joined live. I'm excited about this. This technology is just keeping us all together. We're joined now live by the finalists. Are you here? There you are. Congratulations. All right. Now, all 4 of you have done an incredible job. You've pushed yourselves to think outside of the box and to look at our world and the world of fashion with new lenses. So we celebrate you, and we are so proud that we recognize and that you recognize the importance of all of this. So everyone here at Fashion Scholarship Fund knows that if you continue forward with that same energy that we saw all in your personal videos, that you will go on to do great things. We saw you in action. We saw the heart and the determination, and we believe in each and every one of you. So I'm just thrilled. I'm so honored to be flanked by all this talent. You're side by side. I'm sandwiched between great talent. So are you ready? Take a deep breath. Anybody nod if you're nervous. Oh, okay. Yeah, nerves of steel, I see. Here we go. The winner of the FSF Board of Directors Chairman's Award is, drum roll, Evelyn Sao. Congratulations, Evelyn.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel? Oh my gosh, how do you feel?
Really excited to win. I wasn't really expecting it because everyone else's case studies were really great. I am kind of like in shock right now. And so it was really such a great honor to have experience with all of them. So good job, guys. And so I'd like to thank my family, especially my parents, for supporting me and putting up with having to listen to my case study for the last few weeks. And they pushed me to have more confidence in myself. So I'm really excited to win this to make them proud. Love you guys. And I'd also like to thank my professor Kukova from Lehigh, who encouraged me and helped me from the beginning of the process to the end. And I don't think I would have been able to enter the contest or make it this far without her. And then the other professors at Lehigh and mentors who took their time to listen to my case study. I really appreciate all your advice and support. And lastly, of course, I'd like to thank the Fashion Scholarship Fund and Virgil Abloh for giving us students this opportunity. Thank you to the FSF team and the board members for making all of this possible, and to the judges for listening to our ideas. Really, I'm grateful and honored to receive this award. Thank you all so much.
Oh my gosh, we're so happy for you and our runners-up as well. Congratulations, well deserved. And I want to thank everyone for joining for this truly inspirational evening honoring the 2021 Scholarship Fund scholars. And it was a wonderful evening. It was wonderful getting to know each of our finalists as you've heard their stories, as well as, of course, Evelyn, who just gave the loveliest speech. She is the winner of the inaugural FSF Board of Directors Chairman's Award. And, you know, I don't know about you, but obviously things are changing every single day. But one thing stays constant: hard work and determination and following your dream. And that's what all of these talented designers and up and coming industry professionals have shown us: the ability to pivot and recognize where we are, but recognize that dreams never fade. And there are always people like all of you who are watching right now rooting for you along the way. So we'll continue to root. I wish all of you safe and productive 2021. It is an honor to be here and to support the fund and all of you. From the bottom of my heart, congratulations, everyone.